everybody, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today we're going to start working on the top. I've got to keep a few things in mind. I am planning on trying to find a windshield somewhere. I've got some ideas, but I've also got a game plan for getting a windshield for it. Now it's not going to be for this one, but it's going to be big enough that I can make it work. But really don't need a top if you ain't got a windshield, and you don't need a windshield if you ain't got a top. So both have to basically walk hand in hand. So I've got the two pieces scraped that came off of that refrigerator that I just uploaded on how to recycle your refrigerator. And I want to try to, we got some problems with trying to get everything to work right. Number one, this beam here is at an angle. This one, however, is straight. So I'm probably going to have to leave about this thickness of this, maybe just a hair less, left hanging off the edge of it. And then once I've got it cut and mounted, then I can just fold it over. And I want to make a sun or a visor for it also. That will also help deflect water from the top of the windshield from going in between the frame and the windshield. But I'm going to try to get the windshield up as far as I can possibly get and cover as much as I can possibly cover. So right now I'm just dry fitting these, and they're a little flimsy and not working very well together. But I got to get my width first and then clamp them together. Now I don't know if I'm going to cut that strip, because I've got about 11 inches overhang for both of them. I could do it either way. I could take and cut 10 inches off and have a 1 inch overhang. But I think if I just leave them both the same size and leave the 1 inch or the 11 inch overhang, then it would strengthen it up and thicken it in that area. Plus, where that overlapped, there's also a bolt hole, 2 bolt holes here, or actually 4 bolt holes where I can screw this to the center. I'll show you what I mean. See, this cross member in the middle has 4 holes in it, so I can use that to mount it. And these 2 here will go into both pieces. These 2 will only go into the one. So I believe that once we get it mounted in the center, then we can start worrying about, we got to get this just right so I have the same amount, so that when I fold it over, it comes down to about almost to where it starts rolling over. Because eventually I plan to put a visor on here out of aluminum that will deflect water. So the visor will come out about 2-3 inches. And that way any water that comes down won't go in between the windshield. Of course, this will all get closed in eventually once I get it all closed in. So right now I got to get these mounted together so they stay as one, so that they roll as one. Right now they're just flippity floppity everywhere. And then I want to try to come down to about right here. So now that's going to leave this sharp lip. Yes, I could put rubber on it. You know, take a rubber hose and cut a slit in it and put that over top of it and glue it on there. But it's still not going to give it any rigidity this way. So it'll flop back and forth, especially in the middle right here. So I decided to do something else. So I found, where'd I put it? Right here beside you guys. I found this piece of aluminum that came off of a screen door frame. I'm gonna tell you, screen doors and shower doors and stuff like that, there's a lot of good metal in those. And I was thinking maybe I could try to use this as a track to wedge this down in there. So basically this here is about 1/4 inch, and I can use that membrane that I've got. I'll get that. I got this membrane that come off, it's for camper tops, and if it's wide enough that I can take and cut a piece that will fit in this channel, that I could fold over the edge of this and then push it down in there, and then I can pop rivet it to the sides here. So basically, I'm thinking that I could put that, and there's enough here to do both sides. So I can take and put that in its place right there and cut that at an angle, the same angle as the front roll bar, wherever I'm going to put this. So then I can take this and put it down in that hole, and it will act as a gutter also. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do, and then on this edge I can just take a piece of rubber hose or something and just cover over it. Maybe some of that stuff that I used on the center console, this stuff right here that will go on to the end of it, sort of like something like that. Maybe something bigger, I don't know. But this is aluminum, it's lightweight, and I believe that that will work. So your head's not going to be up there, so you're not going to hit it. So I'm thinking maybe this is what I'm going to use for that. I just got to find out where I want to put it, because I want it to be straight all the way across. Because this actually tilts, so I might have to tilt it to an angle here, something like that. I don't know yet. We'll see. Looks like it's probably going to be an angle like that. But I'd rather it be straight, because eventually I'm going to build 2 doors. One for down here and one for up here. This one's going to have glass or plexiglass in it. So we're probably going to just make it straight. And then that way I can put this down in it, pop rivet it, and we got our strength this way. So, and it'll give you something to mount this to. So let me get my stuff together here and figure out how I'm going to do this. I think this is level or square. So I'm thinking that if I take a square, wherever it's at, take this square here and put up there, and this will try to give me an idea of where that'll go. So we want to try to go up here as far as we can. So about right there is where we're going to put it. So I may have to take and cut this felt lip off just in that area right where those are at. So let me get those cut and we'll be back. Alright guys, I've got my first sheet of metal up there, and what I've done is clamped it right here because it's not in the way of these support brackets here, so I can get right down to the frame. Over here I was going to be doing some denting, so We got it clamped right there. It's flush right here on the end. And same thing on the other side. Now I'm probably going to have to do some trimming, but that's not a big deal. And then we're going to come down and we're going to cut that right there so that it goes into this hole. But we're not going to do that until we get the other piece pinned to this. So basically what I'm going to have to do is come in here with a pair of tin snips and snip that edge off and make it nice and square. And because I didn't do a lot of good grinding on it when I took it off. I was trying to get as close to the edge in the middle so it would have a nice rollover, but it's not going to work because we're going to be buttoning up against the other piece, and I kind of want them to be close to each other. So once we got these two mounted together, these two pieces of metal, that one and the other one, then I can come in here and go ahead and put my bolts in here and hold that in place. So then both of these I can pop rivet these two places, put these bolts in, and then we can go ahead and cut this, because once we put the other piece on, it's going to change it to like that right there. So we want these two to be mounted together before we do that. So I've allowed myself a lot of extra here to cut. Yeah, it's a waste of material, but I didn't want to make a mistake. So we'll fold it down and cut it once we get it up there. So I'll go ahead and put that piece up and we'll be back. All right, guys. So we've got it clamped back here. And we've got exactly 3 1/4 from here to here on both sides. Now we got extra on this side, but it don't matter. We're gonna be cutting it off anyway. We're gonna be cutting it off to where it will fit all the way down into this track. And I'm gonna go ahead, and I've got a bar across here temporarily just to hold it straight. Then I'm going to go ahead and pepper some pop rivets down through there, and then do the same thing to this part over here. But this part over here, I'm going to put a little bit of silicone underneath of it all the way around, all the way to the other side, and then clamp it down, and then that will be sealed. Because it's going to be kind of going downhill, so water will go down in it. So we're going to seal that part right there. And so I'm going to pop rivet that because it's up here on top and I really don't have a whole lot of places to put a camera. So I'm going to just go ahead and pop rivet those, get that done, and get it to where it's ready to fold down and mark. And then we'll go from there. Alright, guys, I'll get y'all up in the air there. So I've got these two clamped together with pop rivets, and I made them evenly on the same row everywhere. I put the pop rivets so they look uniform, and then this will fold down and go in this track. And then to tighten it down into the crack, once I get this in there, to push it down, I've got to push down on this and put the pop rivets in, starting from the center out, to push it down into the channel. So before I can do that, because of this angle, I'm going to have to put, where'd I put it? I'm going to have to put something like this in there and screw that to the front of it, so I have something to, actually I need something at that angle. I may have to 3D print something for that, I don't know. I don't want to fold this over. I want to kind of use this for a visor, because once I get that in, then I can just take and just trim that right on up around the corner, you know, I can just trim right here and just make it look pretty nice, and that will act as a visor over the windshield. But for right now, it would be flopping. So because of this angle is what's getting me. So I'm probably going to have to bend a piece of aluminum to put in where the platform is straight, right before where the bend turns, and put a piece in there so it'll straighten that up, and then I'll have something to pop rivet to. I don't know of any other way to do it without bending this all to pieces. I don't want to do that. I could 3D print some wedges to go in here, but then I'd have to figure out how to put them in. So right now I've got it bolted down with these 4 bolts right here, and these are just temporary, just to hold it in place. So now I've got the roof exactly where I want it. Now it's just a matter of dealing with this slant. I don't know what to do to deal with that slant. Because you can't really put a pop rivet in there because it's away from it. So there's got to be something in there that we can pop rivet that to. I can't really pop rivet to that because it's going to push it down and bend it. I really don't want to do that. I want it to be straight across. As you can see, it looks pretty decent right there. So let me pop that in there and I'll show you what it's going to look like. And it's a little tricky to pop that in there too. That's why I have to pop rivet from the inside out. I can't pop rivet from the outside in. As soon as I find my scraper, here it is. So basically I'm going to have to just bend this around. And push down on it as I'm going. So now it's down in the track, and that's a pretty tight fit. I'm getting silicone everywhere. I got black silicone on the roof, but this is going to get painted black anyway, so it don't matter. But I don't really want to get it on my seats either. And I'm seeing stuff where I shouldn't even have silicone. But anyway, so as I'm pop riveting that out, this will push that down and force that down in that channel a little bit further. So I might have to trim it down a little bit because I got a little hump back here in the back, right here. It ain't much, so I probably got to take about a 1/4 inch off of the edge of it. So this side here looks like it's going to be okay. Yep, this side's going to be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this now that you guys get an idea of what I'm doing. It's just finagling it to get it to work. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop this on there. The next time you see it, it'll be ready to go. Alright guys, we got a roof. There it is. I couldn't really help this part right here. It's got a little buckle in it, but it's even on both sides. It's identical on both sides, so it looks like I meant to do it that way. But there's the roof. And I just tied both of them together right here. and then I put a row across this into the back side of this right here. And I think that'll work. I gotta tighten these up yet and cut them off, these bolts in the center. And I did an overhang of about 3.5 inches so that I can put my windshield up here and no water will come past this. And then I put some of that beading around it. Of course, I got to take it back off to paint it black, because I want to paint that top black. Might use truck bed liner if I can get some. Anything ain't cheap anymore. You can't get nothing like you used to cheaply. And now I thought about putting some beading around this right here on the edge of that. I want to round them off a little bit, and then I got to trim that down a little bit. I got a little too wide on this side. Well, that side too, but not as much as I did on this side. So I got to trim it down a little bit. But other than that, man, we got a roof. Now I don't have to worry about no water hitting me from above, just from the front. So that'll work. Oh, I forgot one of my clamps. Let me get that off of there so it don't look like I'm still working on it. So right here, from here over to the same spot on the other side, I had to put a 1/4 inch piece of steel plate on there, because this bracket here goes on top of that, and then it's got a round-headed nut like that on the top. So it needed to be raised to get it up off of those, or I was going to end up with dents in it right there in them 2 spots. So I just made a piece of steel plate to put across there that's about that wide. I think it's 1 inch wide. And then I pop riveted it and the top down at the same time. So I had to use long pop rivets for that. But we now have a top, and all of it can be sealed. I see a little hole through that rivet there, so I got to put some silicone in each one of them rivets. Like I said, I'm planning on painting it. I might do a paintbrush. I got some black paint that's paint on. I might just paint it on there with a roller, and that way it'll still have its texture. But there you have it. I think it looks pretty decent. Once I paint it black, you'll never know it didn't go to that. Anyway, hope you guys got an idea on how to do yours. I plan to eventually close this whole thing in. That way it can be drove on the highway if I need to. I don't really want to, but there might be a time where I have to. So we're going to make this road ready. And if we don't need it, at least we got the option. So hope y'all learned something. Don't forget to have a good day. I almost said it, man. If y'all noticed, I quit saying like, share, comment, and subscribe, because I really don't care. So I stopped saying it, and it's such a habit, sometimes I forget not to say it. So hope you guys are having your Trump coffee, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Later.